eye-catching. But then so, I think, was the performance of Pegula against Raducanu yesterday, just getting up her stats from that final set. Well, the winners and the unforced errors really caught the eye, but I think she served beautifully throughout the match, didn't she? Got so much out of her second serve, which we thought was a key battle yesterday, but winning 74% behind her first serve. 6 aces as well. It was a really complete and confident serving performance that will give her loads of confidence going into tonight.
Yeah, it was, you know, it's consistent, and this is what she is. She came in as well. She was very successful with 13 out of 10. Is brand new, and a star was born here in Miami. That's for sure.
Well, it was so interesting rummaging through the stats against Iga Swiatek. One of the ones that really leapt out at me in that victory over the world number 2 was the number of times she broke her. 8 times she broke her in that match. I mean, that is extraordinary, attacking the second serve in particular. Exactly.
She was very, you know, very aggressive on the second serve, which, you know, funny enough, when I listened to her press conference, she said that it was not a tactic to begin with. It was just not something that they were highlighting in her, you know, in her box and with her coach. And she actually, you know, figured it out very quickly that she could take the ascendant by really pushing Swiatek. Oh, Swiatek, you know, trying to find the form that we've seen before, but she's just not there right now. But good on Eala. Just unbelievable tournament. 3 top 10 players already, and 3, of course, players and former major champions. And well, tonight she's not playing a major champion, and we're going to see that head-to-head at 0 with most players that she's playing on the tour right now, as this is brand new territory for her.
Zhang Xuan, Jenny in the chair for this one. Another little quirky element of this is she beat Iga Swiatek and broke her 8 times by attacking the second serve, and the template for that was really generated here last year by Aryna Sabalenka, who knocked out Swiatek, before then going on to knock out Jessica Pegula in the quarterfinals. So I wonder if that's a little bit of an omen. Sometimes these things are written in the stars. Will that happen again to the American tonight? Will she be beaten by a player who's just beaten Iga Swiatek? Let's see. Also interesting looking at the numbers for Pegula in terms of matchups with lefties. They're very, very good. She wins 2 out of every 3 matches against a lefty, and she's only lost to 1 left-hander since Wimbledon 2023, when she was beaten by a certain Marketa Vondrousova, who went on to win the title that year. That one defeat in 10 was against Olga Danilovic at the Australian Open this year. And she's also had a little bit of practice this last week or so in Miami. Her opening match of the tournament was against a fellow American, but lefty, the qualifier Bernarda Pera of the United States. A first for this breakout star. That's some start.
Yeah, and if you're wondering if that left thigh is a problem, it didn't seem to be any problem. So we're going to see a lot of movement on the second serve of Eala. I know that Pegula is going to start attacking that serve.
There is the Eala box. She's had a lot of family here this week. It's just caught the outside of the line.
Yeah,
got a glimpse of her dad, Mike.
Yeah, parents flew in. And I think uncle and cousin from Seattle as well. Tony Nadal was here yesterday, had to fly back today, so he won't be here tonight for this match. It's important to mention that she is at the Nadal Academy, and she's been there since the age of 13. Thumbs up. Yes, I would say so.
It's the coach, Juan Pedro Bosch Salort. He's with her this week.
Let's look at the position of Pegula on the second serve, already inside the baseline. So we don't know much about this player, obviously. I mean, she's, you know, been playing a lot of ITF and tournaments, but she is very talented, to say the least. Forehand down the line is exquisite, especially the running forehand as a lefty. One thing probably is the second serve is probably the weakest link of her game. Movement is really good as well. And that's why you just put first serves in.
Yeah, that's the easiest and quickest route to the finish line. And she took it there, no doubt at all. It was lovely hearing her speak, actually, after her victory over Iga Swiatek. She said, really philosophically, so much has changed, but then so little has changed. I'm still the same player I was, who was playing in an ITF in Trnava before she came to Miami. Also had a semi-final appearance in Canberra at the start of the year at ITF level. Last couple of years, it's been about making as much headway as possible for Eala up the rankings. Oh, it's caught the line.
Yeah, the inside-out forehand as well. I mean, it is definitely the forte of Alexandra Eala. And the backhand cross-court here, the return. Talk about being aggressive on the return. That was pretty impressive.
Well, 2 years ago, she started the year, did Eala, just outside the top 200. Hadn't really been able to push on in quite the way she would have wanted until now, because she will be a top 100 player next week. She might also be
top 50 player if she keeps going that way.
She might be a finalist, maybe even a champion, who knows? And she's certainly made a champion start here, potentially.
She's going to move up to 75 right now in the live ranking. If she was to lose, sky's the limit. She keeps on going. Lots of energy, and she said that she's more of a morning person, so not really a night owl, but I tell you what, she's going to have to get used to it if she's playing at this level.
Well, the last 2 points, it felt like Jessica Pegula was just having a word with herself, as if to say, I'm not having this. Being broken in the first game.
Yeah, same tactic for Alexandra Eala, just moving inside the baseline on the second serve.
What a sumptuous lob that was. And what a start.
It's not surprising to me in the sense that, again, you know, you never played a player, so she was very shocked by that lob to begin with. Just, you know, you don't know really the characteristic and the go-to shots when you haven't seen and played a player. I assure you that Eala, I've seen Pegula quite a bit playing already in those last years on the ITF Tour.
Cross-court forehand is nasty as well, isn't it? It's really flat. ball just seems to keep going away from you.
Yeah, she actually hits the outside of the ball with it, which is nice. Puts just enough topspin to go over the net. A lot of similarity too with Leylah Fernandez as lefties. I think, you know, you see the forehand and even the backhand. Yeah, that's what happens when you have a doubtful second serve. You try to go for more because you know that your opponent is going to attack it. Throws a double fault.
Tried to be courageous, force the issue down the line. But the wood number 4 is desperately trying not to let her wriggle too far out of sight early on here.
Nice flat serve down the tee.
Pegula has the break back. Something to get her teeth to early in this opening set. Very good start from Alex Eala. But we're back on serve after 3 games. Held onto that forehand and sent her opponent packing the other way.
Listen.
Forehand is a little bit floating. to accelerate through impact. She's hitting it a little bit late. Maybe some nerves out there. Need to be expected.
Well, that didn't take long at all.
2 games over.
Shaken up by the early break of serve. And then right back on it with the last 8 points in a row. Using all of her experience to just really knuckle down.
The depth is ridiculous right now for Pegula, and just starting to play the same way that she played last night, which is missing much.
Well, she comes from a sporty family. Her mum was a swimmer. There's Alexandra Eala. She was a bronze medalist in the Southeast Asian Games in the 100 meters backstroke, excuse me. You can see the shift in momentum right there. And she too was a medalist at the Asian Games a couple of years ago in the singles and mixed doubles. That's what she's battling a little bit at the moment, just containing that errors column. Super aggressive tennis. Nerveless when she comes forward.
It's a very smart play, good acceleration, and that volley I thought was pristine, beautiful, pushing Pegula behind the baseline. Good retrieval skill though, and asking the question very well answered.
Love that. Again, so confident in the forecourt. Really nice hold of serve, an important one as well to just re-establish some traction and halt all the momentum on the American side of the net. It's been a heavy workload this week for Alexandra Eala at this level. That's been the last 2 years, matches-wise. A lot of matches, 73 of them last year, 78 the year before. were looking at her stat far.
Well, here's the good news.
Yeah, it's just around the corner.
After this tournament, she's going to go straight in the main draw of the next major, which will be Roland Garros, Paris French Open. So after that, probably she's going to keep those points for a good year. Hopefully getting Wimbledon as well in the US Open. Yeah. That's perfectly gauged, and when she accelerates her forehand and her arm through her forehand, she's fine. It's when she starts waiting a little bit too long, but this is just so well played. You can't really tell where she's.
The difficulty is anticipating where she's going. It's a double jeopardy, isn't it, Sophie? Because it's the open stance and she takes it early.
Yeah, you can't tell where she's going. And, you know, even though Pegula, I like what Pegula tried to play here with using the slice backhand, although it was not deep enough, just to change the rhythm and the height of the ball and the spin. Yeah. Well done on that one. It's tough when that ball is deeper with the slice. For Eala, have to get that racket head really low below the level of the ball and swing earlier, because it's going to skid on the court with the slice. Wow.
Home net.
Deuce.
Good acceleration on the return, putting the pressure on Pegula.
Again, that return was really low over the net.
Doesn't have a huge margin, that's for sure.
No.
It's 3 break points. Trinity missed here. She had a lot of great results in the juniors as well, winning the Petits As, which is the World Championships in France under age 14 and under. I was in 2018 in my home country of France. Then won the 2022 US Open, the girls singles. Ooh.
There's the attack on the second serve. I mean, she was practically jogging into the service box by the... She made that, she has. Sensational stuff. from Alexandra Eala.
I mean, the level that she's playing right now is definitely top 10. There's no doubt. That's what she's done. She was there. Even if that ball had been in.
15.
Brother Miko went with her to the Rafa Nadal Academy when she went there at the age of 13. He ended up spending 4 years also at Penn State University playing tennis.
Yeah, it was such a tough thing to leave home and her parents, and having a brother there was so helpful.
Yeah, that's the danger. You cannot give her a sniff of that cross-court forehand because it will be dispatched.
It's fabulous anticipation from Pegula to go to the correct side. And yes, again, as you mentioned, that superb cross-court.
Yeah, calmly done.
You know, it's always interesting to me when you see some new players and newcomer, and to hear about where they're from, especially coming from the Philippines, as there's obviously no players that we've known from the Philippines, and talking about her roots and how much she appreciates the support of her parents, and she's so proud of her country. Love the fact that she has her head on her shoulders. It's very impressive at her age. She's very poised. She really thinks before answering questions in press conference. And it's quite refreshing, you know, to see somebody who is not frightened by the occasion and feels in control. And I think she, obviously, with the training she's had at the Rafa Academy, helped tremendously to her professionals, helping you to be a professional at such a young age. She's definitely showing her character here in this tournament.
Yeah. Took control of that. But I like the imagination in her tennis as well.
Yeah.
Forward, make volleys.
Yeah, she played majority on hard court, but definitely in Mallorca has the ability to play on clay. She's gonna have to. Clay season is coming up.
And she's going to get wild cards galore.
Probably.
Might not need them really with that ranking as well, in fairness.
Oh, she's not going to like this. That's a bad mistake for Pegula, and she knows it. Just too static on this return of serve. You know, when she won the Girls' Championship in the US Open, she actually made the first page of Vogue magazine in the Philippines. And she was shocked. She was like, I couldn't believe it.
She also beat, in that run, Mira Andreeva in the quarterfinals. And she must have been watching what she's been doing in the last 12 months and thinking, hang on a second.
Yeah, why not me, right?
Well, maybe she wasn't quite ready the last year or two. She certainly looks like she is now. sensational tennis. It truly is. She's won 3 games in a row here. But then you look at the performances this week of the teenager on the other side of the net, and they almost defy description. Taking out the world number 2 in the quarterfinals. And before that, the Australian Open champion Madison Keys. And before that, the former French Open champion Jelena Ostapenko. That's the kind of tennis that Alex Eala has been playing this week.
Hi Jesse, this is Wendy, our guest for tonight. And this is Alex. Okay ladies, condition will be the same for this match. Any questions? No? Would you like to call it a trophy or WTA? Trophy, so Jesse or WTA? Please Wendy. That'll be trophy or call. Sir. Yeah, can we take a picture with Wendy?
No hesitation at all. The 19-year-old is going to serve first. That's how the second semi-final will get underway, with Aryna Sabalenka waiting for us in the final for the winner of this one. I'm Sue Thurl, delighted to say Sophie Amiak back alongside me for this one. Well, I think the semi-final is going to be worth the wait this evening, Sophie, don't you?
Well, I sure hope so, because it is, you know, 10 p.m., a little bit later than 10 p.m. Local time in Miami, and you know that these players don't really like to wait that late to play a tennis match. But yeah, as you mentioned, Aryna Sabalenka waiting, and herself probably at home with her feet up, very relaxed after a very, very good match against Paolini. 6-2, 6-2, absolutely devastating. Paolini didn't play badly. She just was completely overplayed and overpowered.
Well, when you talk about the performances yesterday